Hey sis, each month inside Entrusted Women University, we feature a brand new interview. You can watch the full interview only in Entrusted Women University, but you can check out this snippet right
Yes,
now.
little Sharifa was running around with a Hello Kitty diary that had a little lock on it. Yes. I
Oh,
have always, I don't know if I would always identify as a writer, but I have always written, at least since I was 8. I don't have.
hey friends, I am so excited to be sharing with you an old friend that I had to go back and pick back up when I was on Instagram, and I was like, you done wrote a book? What in the world? So Sharifa Stevens, how you doing?
I'm great. It's so nice to be with you.
It's nice to have you, y'all. Sharif from early days of Entrusted Women. Sharifa, I don't even know how I found you. Do you know how we?
Facebook? I don't know
Who
anymore.
knows? Who knows? Were you friends with Susan Say? Are you friends with
Yeah.
Susan? Maybe it came from Susan Say. I don't even know, girl.
We
Yeah,
don't.
we don't know. So, just in case you don't know about Sharifa, I'm going to share her bio with you. I'm gonna pull out some stuff. She's a daughter of Jamaican immigrants. I didn't know this. Born and raised in New York. I don't think I knew that either. She graduated from Columbia University in New York with a bachelor's in African American Studies before earning a master's in theology from Dallas Theological Seminary. Wow. So you really went into two different spaces.
Very,
You went for,
very
I'm gonna
different.
go to this end of the continuum and then I'm gonna come over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so she has a vast amount of experience to share with us. She considers herself a conglomerate of intersections. That's good. Bronx wisdom and prep school, code switching, smoke shop now and laters, and church
If you
peppermints.
know, you know.
Yeah, honey, we grew up on that. Hip hop and hymns. Intersections can be a smash up, rife with both tragedy and opportunity, places of pause within movement. That's so well written. Did you write that?
Yes.
You know, some people have. Okay, disregard. That was very well written. Okay, so I'm saying, I've titled this Becoming a First Time Author with Sharifa Stevens, but she's not a first time author. So she has published When We Talk to God, that prayers, that's what we're getting ready to talk about. When We Talk to God, prayers and poems for Black women, but she's also co-authored Only Light Can Do That, 60 Days of MLK Devotions for Kids with Lisa Creighton, which we know Lisa's a
Yes.
friend.
Yes.
She's also contributed to the following books: Vindicating the Vixens, Lord have mercy, Revisiting Sexualized,
Mhm.
Vilified, and Marginalized Women of the Bible, sheesh, and Rally Communal Prayers for Lovers of Jesus and Justice. And you can find more of her writing on Substack. And then I love this. She says, I'm married to a Renaissance man, which I
Yeah.
need to unpack that. Mother of two lively boys and watched over by a loyal Dobie. Unpack that last sentence. That's how we're going to get started.
Unpack. Okay, a Renaissance man. So my husband is able to teach Latin, build, uh, rebuild a motorcycle engine. The boys also built a Land Rover. They rebuilt a Land Rover and can drive it. Um, and he's able to preach. So I consider a Renaissance man someone who can do a little bit of everything.
Jack of all trades.
Yes. So he does all things well. And the boys are, I have 2 sons and one is here. Hopefully we don't hear him or the Dobie. So I
What's
have
it?
a Doberman Pinscher.
Adobe is a dog.
She,
Okay.
yes, she is a dog. Her name is Onyx. And sometimes she's vocal, but usually that's when somebody's delivering a package. So she's vocal at the right time. But my youngest son and my Doberman are downstairs right now because I'm homeschooling my
Oh,
youngest.
wow. How old is your youngest?
He's 12.
Okay, wow. Yeah, we tried homeschool, but it didn't quite work
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it is a work. But praise God for you.
Listen, and praise God for schools. So I'm here to tell you, my oldest is in school, outside of the home. So I think, listen, you do what works for you and your family. Do what works.
Yeah, my son, my youngest son was like, I got to get the heck up out of here
It,
because this is not working for me.
mhm.
He was about to go stir crazy, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Sharifa and her book.
No, I just affirm you in your choices.
Yeah, he was like, oh, no.
Yeah, I get that.
Mm-mm. At probably 11, he was like, no.
See, and
Okay,
my 12-year-old is like, I'm going to stay until ninth grade. That's the plan. So, and the eldest is in ninth grade and he's in high school. So
children, they grow and they change
they
and they
do.
evolve. They evolve just like adults. Is what we were talking about. Y'all missed the whole perimenopause, menopause conversation, but we're not going to have it because I think I've been having it like every interview.
Have you?
Probably.
I feel like that's because it's relevant. It's relevant and it's
It's
right
relevant.
now.
And a lot of the people I'm interviewing, we're all in that same stage of life. So we're all kind of tracking us. And it's like, girl, are you experiencing? Yeah, I'm experiencing what? I thought it was just me. Oh my gosh. Oh, you need this. Here's this product. You need to do this. Da, da, da. So it's been a lot of that in the ladies' room, at conferences,
Yep.
on Zoom calls, on I mean, just everybody and their mom is like, I'm in perimenopause too, and I don't understand what's happening with my body.
Yep.
There's a lot of that.
It's so important that we have these conversations. And the segue is number one, I do have a prayer about perimenopause in this book that I wrote. Number one,
Won't you do it? Won't you do it? We need that.
we need it, right? And number two, we need community. We
We
think
need
we're going
community.
through things by ourselves, and then when we speak to each other, we realize we're affirmed in our experiences, and then we feel less alone, less crazy, and we are open to getting advice, or at least we have people to commiserate with for the things that we're going through, which is
Mhm.
also a motivation for me as I wrote this book.
I appreciate that you said less crazy. She didn't say that you're not going to feel crazy. She just said less crazy. I
I mean,
appreciate that.
I'm sure y'all are saying, I got a little bit of the, I'm a little spicy.
Child. Okay, let's get into it. All right, so talk about your writing journey. Have you always been a writer, little Sharifa, running around here with her journal?
Yes, little Sharifa was running around with a Hello Kitty diary that had a little lock on it. Yes. I
Oh,
have always, I don't know if I would always identify as a writer, but I have always written, at least since I was 8. I don't have any evidence before 8 years old. But I was, I am an only child, and
me
I'm,
too.
oh, really? So I made my own adventure, and a lot of times that was internal, and I processed a lot internally, continue to do that. And having that Hello Kitty diary was my first foray into journaling, into knowing, becoming acquainted with myself, my own thoughts, my processes,
That's
and writing
good.
that down. So, yes, I've always written. And I think that I turned the corner and would call myself a writer maybe in high school. It was based on some of the feedback that I received from very supportive and enthusiastic teachers, especially in the English department, who encouraged creativity and helped me to hone it. And that journey continued in especially after graduate school, after seminary. I had some professors And shout out to Sandy Glan, who is Dr. Sandy Glan, who preserved my writing at a time where academic writing could really just kill your vibe. It just really kills, it could kill your creativity. And she really preserved and protected my writing at that time in and after seminary. And the first time I got paid, according to the capitalistic model, right? The first time I got paid for writing something, I was just like, well, that makes me a writer as well.
I'm official.
I
I
feel
have
I feel
evidence.
official.
I got paper.
Yes. Not that capitalism should be our rubric
Yeah.
for how we identify ourselves, but it was definitely a milestone for me the first time I was rewarded.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of us have trouble labeling ourselves as writers.
Yes.
Especially when our journey is maybe not the traditional path of maybe we majored in English or, I don't know, whatever. But I so can relate to what you're saying about being an only child and processing your emotions.
Yes.
And I'm praying that as I get old and feeble, I remember to gather up all of my journals and host a big bonfire somewhere and burn them before I die. So that
Listen,
what?
you are listen, like the last every journal I've written in the last uh so burn upon my death is the first page of my journal.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yes, yes. So at
Thank you
least
for
if they read
that.
after, they should feel so much guilt because that was not the assignment.
Okay. 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 Thank you for that. I'm gonna start doing that. But I think that let me go back. That's funny. I've never heard this before in my life. I think that that process of journaling really helps you to develop your voice.
Mhm.
It helps you to think about language and dialogue and why people do the things that they do, and you just become very self-aware because you're always in your head. Now I know that it's a recommendation from therapists, like, oh, you should journal. It was
Mm,
like, oh, I should, but we've been doing that because that was the way we were wired to understand ourselves and process life, the world around us,
yeah.
ultimately making us writers, which we were scared to call ourselves, but that's what we were already behaving like.
Yes.
Anyways, okay. So talk about your experience as a first time author on a solo project by yourself.
By myself. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like there was a maturation that happened um for me to be able to own every single word of a published
Wow.
work. Including, there are things that I could have said better or things that I excluded that I should have included or um just the constructive critique of my own work, but there had to be an ownership for me in going into this project. And the book is really vulnerable. It's not
Yeah.
it's not objective. There's no facade of objectivity in the book. It speaks into tender places that either I or people I love have experienced. And I'm proud of it because it is an honest work. I'm
Mm.
proud of myself because one of my biggest fears was actually doing something all by myself.
Hmm.
And so when my manuscript was accepted, the changes made, and it was just going to print, it was sacred for me because it was more than the publishing date. it was the time where I could acknowledge to myself, you at your big age did this hard thing and it is done.
Mhm.
Um, and as an artist, writers are artists. As an artist, I think we can be especially hard on ourselves,
Yeah.
abusively hard.
That's a word. That adjective. Yeah.
Yes. Because there's a difference between constructive criticism and challenging yourself and coaching yourself, and self deprecation, self loathing,
Mm.
uh, destructive criticism, or the tapes. Do we say tapes at our age? I don't know. But
Well,
the
we
current
streaming the streams.
the
We're
streams.
streaming now.
Yes. Okay. So, but the
Hey,
horrible, horrible things that we stream in our heads.
right.
So it was I felt really proud of myself for overcoming the critic and playing and producing and
Mhm.
taking stock of and owning every word.
That's so good, Sharifa. And I want to ask you about your process. I do want to restate, the title of her book is When We Talk to God, Prayers and Poems for Black Women. Now, when you put the subtitle on that, it's like, because I am a black woman, and some of the things I say to God did not need to be in the book because
Why is that?
because because it gets real. It gets real. As a black woman in 2025,
Mm-hmm.
it is very real and
Mm-hmm.
very raw. And so when you say it's honest, I'm like clutching my invisible pearls. When you say it's real and it's vulnerable, it's authentic because black women, I was just looking at some clip on YouTube, but multiple people are saying it. 350,000 black women have lost their jobs this year. When you think about the role that black women play in their families,
Mm-hmm.
in their immediate families, in their extended families,
Yes.
it's a huge role. It's a huge, I mean, a financial role, a just kind of a glue role, kind of a backbone-ish type role, so much support at all of the varying levels, or age brackets,
Yeah.
we playing a strong role. So when I see the title, When We Talk to God, Prayers and Points for Black Women, I'm kind of like, ooh, okay, okay, she must be going there because if that's who your audience is, and I am one, and I know what we experience, then it's got to be a vulnerable work. Talk about what inspired you. What inspired you to write this?
Well, black women inspire me. So, what happened was a divine confluence of events, like one after the other. So, one day, a friend of mine texted me and she was like, okay, there's this major life event happening to a friend of mine who's also a black woman. Do you have any resources on prayers that are just for black women? And I was like, no, but that would be dope,
Hmm.
right? Maybe a week later or 2 weeks later, a publisher who I've worked with approached me and said, we're interested in writing a book of prayers for black women.
That's crazy.
Like it was real close. And they were like, wouldn't you like to write this book? And I was just like, oh, okay. For me to say no or maybe to this would be to refuse a yes from God. It was just like,
Too clear. It's too clear.
Too clear, right? So, am I a black woman who prays? Absolutely. And I come from praying black women. I come from
That's good.
praying black women. And I have a larger heritage as an American of the black church in this country, as a Jamaican American from the diasporic black church, and as a Christian, I have the heritage that was given to me in Christ. So all of those things ins- inspire me. The church fathers and mothers, that's my inheritance. Toni Morrison writing about the clearing, that's my inheritance. My grandmother getting on her knees beside the bed to pray every day, my inheritance, and also my inspiration.
Mm-hmm. So good. So good. Um, and you answered that because I my next question was there a specific moment when you realized that Black women needed a resource like this? It was when your friend came to you.
Yes.
Um, how did you decide which prayer should stay and which prayer should go? Oh, you know what? Let me go back. I want to go back to that. How did you already? We come put a pin in it.
Okay.
Which prayer should? We're not gonna answer that one right now. So y'all calm down. I want to know, how did you already have a relationship with your publisher? Because that's not
Oh
common
yeah.
for people to
No.
just get a call from the publisher and say, "Oh, we got this book and we want you to." Okay, can you talk about that?
Very, very uncommon. So I acknowledge that. I have a relationship with the publisher because I work as an editor as well. I'm a contract worker for a vendor that specifically caters to publishing houses. So the publishing houses will call this vendor and say, "Hey, I need a sensitivity reader, a content editor, a collaborative writer, copywriter, s- all of this," right? And so the vendor will say, "Hey, I think I have the perfect person for you." So basically, I've done jobs for this publishing house and other publishing houses in that capacity. As
Okay.
and I've been doing this not terribly long. I started in 2020 when the
Things
mood of
fell
the
apart
country,
and things fell
well,
apart.
not only when things, I
Well,
mean,
things was already fell apart, but
I was about to say, I'm
when
like,
we
what?
all knew that things was falling apart.
It was at that small window when people were all concerned post the murder of George Floyd, when people
Yeah.
when the majority culture was concerned for a second about justice and inclusion, diversity, equity, all those things that are being legislated out right now. Um,
Yeah.
so that was when a white woman who was in editing was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk to every black woman I see who's adjacent to writing and encourage them to apply to these kinds of opportunities. And
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to Margot Starbuck for
Margot.
because she didn't know me from Adam, but she encouraged me in the way. Lisa Creighton also coached me in it,
Hmm.
and Stanford Creative Stanford Creative is the vendor who hired me when I had zero experience, and I grew an experience with Creative.
It was definitely a moment in time. I also had a lot of people coming to me asking
Mhm.
specifically for sensitivity editors and for copy editors and proofreaders that were people of color,
Yeah.
because it was just a moment of realization and awakening, I think, for publishers. I think that awakening is still there for publishers, not all publishers, but but there
But
are
it is. You're
publishers,
right.
but there are publishers that it is still a priority for them to represent diverse voices,
Yes.
and also make sure that there is someone who has a say so in the type of content that is published that will include, let's say, dialogue of a particular race, and somebody saying, oh, well, we need to have somebody to look at that to make sure it's accurate, it's not offensive, it's not challenging. So, I mean, I can't say in large, by and large, it's still going on, but I know there are some that are still trying to champion it and prioritize it, which we appreciate.
Yes.
Hey, sis, I hope you enjoyed that interview snippet, and I want you to be sure and check out Entrusted Women University by visiting membership.entrustedwomen.com to see the interviews in their entirety. And join us next week for more content to help you on